At the same time, South Africans will cast their votes, as you know, in the municipal elections on Monday next week. The Electoral Commission of South Africa says 26.2 million people registered to vote, making this the lowest voter registration numbers, at least at this point, because we can't talk turnout just yet until the election has happened. Well, are people growing warier of politicians? What drives voter apathy this time around? Our reporters are on the ground investigating this as we count down to the 2021 local government elections. Govan Whittles is in Gqeberha in the Eastern Cape. Mangoba Mchunu is in Mahikeng in the Northwest. Monique Motlok is in ROODEPAN in Kimberley, and that's in the Northern Cape. And Nqobile Madlala is in UMLAZI in KwaZulu-Natal. So let's start where we expect that there'll be much contestation, at least if history is anything to go by, and that's in Gqeberha there with you, Govan Whittles. Well, Gqeberha is such a hotly contested city, as I say. In what direction is the wind blowing in the city as we count down to the election day?
It looks like the wind is blowing towards the inland as that blue wave seems to be receding on the coast. That's with the emergence of smaller parties that are trying to contest the Democratic Alliance, not only in their strongholds, but across the city. And this is the kind of city where the result is dependent on how many people actually come out to vote. And to get a sense of what voter apathy is like in Nelson Mandela Bay, I'm outside one of the trendiest cafes in Nelson Mandela Bay city centre, Taste of Italy. It sells ice cream and coffee, but it also has a diverse group of patrons. So it's a great sense of what the mood is like. Joining me is Tony, one of the owners. Tony, thank you for your time. So you run the shop, you get a lot of different people coming through here. What do you think the sense is among yourself and your customers regarding the elections and voting?
Govan, very interesting question. First of all, thanks for coming out here and actually chatting to everybody. You know, obviously I'm going to speak from my personal opinion, and obviously speaking to friends and that around, people just want change. They want to see that their taxes and their things and their services are working. It's got nothing to do with skin colors or races or cultures or anything. Me just want to see things working. And I think, you know, that's something that's been lacking a lot here in this country. And yeah, I think it can be done. So,
do you think they'll come out and actually vote though?
Well, I think in the past, you know, people are reluctant not to because they're not seeing the change. So if they vote for a party, an up-and-coming party or an existing party, they're still not seeing those changes happening. So yeah, good question, my man. Good question.
All right, not sure if we have an answer just yet.
I will be voting this time around. I will be voting this time. I haven't in the past, but I will be this time around.
All right, thank you so much. Let's move on to you, sir. Just tell me, how is your feeling towards the election, and do you think that people in this area will be coming out to vote? Will you go out to vote?
Yes, I will, but all I want to see is a change, man. So I'll be happy if we see a change. So I just tell people they must go to vote. That's all I can say, man.
What kind of change you want to see?
This thing of load shedding also, let's start there so that they must start to fix those things. Yes, that's what I want to say, man.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate that. And should say that this shop has actually been affected by load shedding today, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the number of people that are coming in and out. It looks like the people of Nelson Mandela Bay are still making up their minds, Tilasizo, but there are clear objectives and priorities that they want to have addressed. My sense of it so far has been that it doesn't look like they have much faith in the parties to actually address those concerns. It's back to you.
Govan Whittles in Gqeberha. Let's go live to Nqobile Madlala in UMLAZI in KwaZulu-Natal. Nqobile, go.
We do know that this is one of the biggest townships in KZN as well as in the whole of South Africa. So the turnout is expected to be a bit more, having known that this is ANC stronghold. So a lot of people that we have spoken to, they've also said that they are going to be going out, they will be voting, but the idea for them is that they want their promises to finally be something that they can see. They want implementation of whatever they've been asking for. Now, you will remember that President Ramaphosa not so long ago was here in UMLAZI speaking to the people, talking to them about the fact that things like the 350 payment grant was something that they will be attending to if there are any issues. But a lot of people just welcoming him in here and also expressing their concern. But now joining me now is one of the community leaders in the area, and he was just explaining a little earlier to us that why is it so important for him to go and vote. Baba, ake siqale nje sikhulume, uzohamba uyovota?
Yebo ngiyaya ngiyovota.
Ubaba uyimisela ngokuthi uzokwenzakalani ngevoti lakhe?
Ngizimisela ukubona inguquko kulesi sikhathi esiphila kuzona kuyaphambili. Kunezinto eziningi ezisihluphayo esithenjiswa zona ukuthi zizokwenzeka emva kokhetho, ilezi nguquko ke esifisa ukuyibona. Kodwa ke kukhona ezinye esifisa ukuyibona eziqhamuka kuthina ngaphakathi, mhlawumbe amaqembu ezepolitiki angayithintile.
Ake siye kuyona ingqikithi impela baba, izona ziphi lezo zinto?
Ubugebengu buphezulu. Siyafisa ukubona kuba nezinhlelo zokwehlisa ubugebengu. Kubhlungu ukuhlala endaweni lapho kuzwa khona ukuthi njalo mhlawumbe ngesonto uzoza ukuthi kubikwa abantu abafile ngenxa yobugebengu. Kukhona izikhathi okungahambeki kuzo ngenxa yobugebengu. Besifisa kakhulu ukuthi abazongena basilekelele ekwehliseni izinga lobugebengu.
Ubabuke izona lezi zinto esenike nayikhuluma mhlambe nekhansela lendawo?
Noma ezinye singayikhulumanga nekhansela lendawo, kodwa izinto ezibalulekile ukuthi sifanele ukuthi zikuliwe nazo.
Baba, ngiyazi ukuthi noma ngabe UMLAZI kuyindawo iningi labantu abavotela iANC, kodwa kunamanye amaqembu afikayo la azokhombisa ukuthi nawo ayafisa ukuthi avoteleke. Ngokwakho nabantu okhulume nabo bazwa kanjani bona?
Kuya ngokuthi izithembiso esinikezwa zona zinjani. Izithembiso ezikhona izicishe izifane, obese kushaya egcineni ukuthi emva kwezethembiso singabe sisakubona ukufezwa kwezithembiso. So ilokhu ke besifisa ukuthi sikubone mhlawumbe angazi noma ngingayibeka izinto esizibona ziphambili thina la njengomphakathi wendawo. Sibona kona ukuthi ubugebengu buphezulu. Okunye esikubonayo futhi ukuthi kuphezulu mhlawumbe kudalwa ukuthi imisebenzi ayikho. Uma ngabe singathola izinhlelo zokulekelela kakhulu ulusha, kube khona ama project noma ama program abasha azobenza ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi bahlale kukhona abakwenzayo kunokuthi bahlale bengenzi lutho baze bayithole sebeyinikela ezintweni ezingabasizi yoba sebelelehlekelwe yithemba. Kulikhulu kakhulu ke khona ukuthi uthola ukuthi sekukhona asebeze bathola iziqo banemnyezane, kodwa sebelehlekelwe yithemba ukuthi ngelinye ilanga bawubuye basebenze. Yabona ukhuluma nami, uzokhuluma nomuntu osekhulile, sengibhekile ukuthi ngiyohlala phansi, kodwa kunabantwana abangakaze baqala ukusebenza sebecishe mhlawumbe bafika eminyakeni yo40, banakho konke okudingakalayo kodwa ngenxa ukuthi amathuba emisebenzi awekho.
Sengiphethe nje baba, akusikho kokuqala uvota, usazoqhubeka uvota, kodwa ngokwakho ivoti lakho mawulibheka seliwenzile nomehluko lokade ufuna ukuthi wenzeke la uhlala khona?
Liyawenza wona umehluko, kodwa akukabi umehluko esiufisayo ukuthi siubone. Mhlawumbe singakaphethi kule ndawo esihlala kuyona, sihlala kunomgwaqo okuthiwa uM35. Umgwaqo lona othwala umnotho ukusuka eMtateni usabalisa neSouth Africa yonke. Isimo sawo simbi ngendlela emangalisayo, asinakekile okuze kugcina mhlawumbe sekudala neingozi, kanti mhlawumbe nobukhulu bawo ububanzi bawo sekufuna ngathi bungabheka ukuthi ngeke nibe khona okwenziwayo, ngoba uyabona nje uhamba ekseni ngekhathi zo6 noma ntambama ngo4 no5 akuhambeki. Imoto igcine mhlawumbe zibalekela ama potholes, kanti vele ziningi zigcine seyidala ingozi. Nazi ingozi ezinjalo asidingi. Okunye ukuthi sibesifisa ukuthi abantwana ngathi mhlawumbe ikhansela esingalithola lingaba nezinhlelo zokuthi lenzani ngabantwana kwezemfundo, sibone ukuthi ithuthukisa kanjani imfundo yethu kuyaphambili.
Tula, speaking there to one of the community leaders, is just expressing that there are a lot of things that needs to be sorted. Mainly, he's saying that the M35, which is a road that passes through this township, he says it's quite a big road that also, in a way, people that are driving the economy in terms of trucks and all sort of transportation passes there. He says there are a lot of accidents there and the road is not taken care of. So that's one of the infrastructure things that he thinks that needs to be looked at during this when the next person takes over in the local elections. But also he's emphasizing that unemployment is a major issue in this area. Now we know that when the president was here, also that was raised to him, that young people do not have jobs in the area and more jobs are needed. So he's also expressing that it's so sad that sometimes you see graduates in this area, they're sitting at home without any jobs, which is really what we have been seeing in South Africa with the unemployment rate growing. But he's also saying that safety in UMLAZI is quite also a big issue. He says as we go into local elections, he's hoping that whoever's appointed can attend to these issues urgently because safety is such a major issue. He says in just a week in, week out, they start counting how many people are killed in the area, and that's something that needs to be attended to urgently. And he says he is looking, of course, forward to enjoying his pension years, but he's worried about the fact that there are kids that there are young people that haven't even started to get their contribution towards their own pension as they grow much older.
Live for us in UMLAZI in KwaZulu-Natal, eNCA's Ngobile Madlala. From there, let's take it to the Northern Cape in ROODEPAN, and that's where we find Monique Motlock. Monique, take it away.
Yes, I'm here in ROODEPAN, an area that's been plagued by service delivery issues. In this street where I am now, in Finch Street, my colleague Mabuti will show you the road. Residents have been struggling to get this road paved. It's one of the few roads in this area, one of the few formal roads that isn't paved, and it's only been raining for about a half an hour, and this is what you see here. And residents say even when it doesn't rain quite often or consistently, this is what they usually expect. And to chat to me more about it, I have a resident who's been petitioning the municipality to get this road paved. So tell us about the struggles of residents living here in Finch Street.
Ma'am, some of the residents here are actually staying here in the street for more than 45 years. And even during the apartheid years, this is actually the struggle that we have. This is not the first petition. I mean, if you can look at this, there's about over 500 names on the petitions here. And we've actually sent the last petition in March. We submitted at the municipality. This is the proof of the petition. As you can see, the date. It is in March, and we have never received any responses. This street and the other streets, Finch, is Weaver, Pelican, and Paraki Street. It was on the IDP, but for somehow, some way, we don't know what happened to the money. And for me, this is how we live. I mean, that's just a few minutes that the rain has fallen, and just look at the conditions of the street.
And it was a struggle for us just driving through here, trying to navigate around these craters filled with water. How difficult does it make your life?
Exactly. And if you can notice there, if you can look just where I'm staying there, people can't even pass there. They have to actually walk onto my fence just to get past walk through the street. And it is really difficult. And I mean, if you can see, this is really appalling. And like I said, I phoned the municipality many times for follow-ups. They never came back to us. They just made promises and promises. Even the ward councillor who've actually won this ward of the DA, she just actually neglected us. But like I said, is that I'm actually glad you guys are here so you guys can see with your own eyes what is happening here.
And so before I move on to Ms. Morris, how does it make you feel as a voter with elections around the corner? Are you going to be voting? How do you feel?
Of course. I mean, voting is actually our democratic right. We need to vote, and I will urge people to vote. But it hurts us to know that we've been voting all this time. And whenever it's election times, these guys are coming up and making all these big promises. But at the end of the day, they don't fulfill their promises.
Thank you very much. That was Dennis Fembers. And now I have Miss Maria Morris, who's been staying here for over 30 years. Mevrou Morris, sê vir my, vandat u eers hier begin woon het, nee, hoe het u gesien hierdie plek verander oor die jare?
Nooit, nie een keer nie. Nooit verander. Al wat hulle altyd gedoen het, is net om die pad te kom skrap. En wanneer hulle hom geskrap het, het hulle meer 'n gemors gemaak as iets anders. Dis al wat hulle gedoen het, die pad kom geskrap, dan is hulle weer weg. Of hulle kom sprei net water op die pad, dan is hulle weg. Maar hulle het nog niks so ver gedoen nie. En ek hier bly nie.
En skus mevrou, hoe voel mevrou as 'n kiezer? Gaan mevrou stem in hierdie verkiesing wat kom?
Kijk, dame, ik moet stemmen. Ik is een Zuid-Afrikaanse burger. Ik moet stemmen, het is mijn recht. Maar dat gaat over mij. Als ik ga stemmen, kan ik gaan stemmen. En als ik niet wil gaan stemmen, dan kan ik me niet forceren. Zien.
En voel mevrou gaan 'n verskil sien na die verkiesing? Of voel mevrou hoopvol?
Ach, ik zie een verschil. Want hulle kom door te door en hulle kom belicht. Ons gaan so maak en ons gaan so maak. Die ander het nou eendag na my toe gekom en vir my gesê, hulle sê vir my die DA is nou 15 jaar hierso en hulle gaan nou 'n verskil maak. Ek sê nee, die pot kan nie die ketel verbyt. Hulle is dieselfde. Jy praat oor van 15 jaar, jy was al hoeveel jare op die dinge. So, wat ek sê, die pot kan nie die ketel verbyt.
Yes. Baie dankie mevrou. That was Miss Maria Morris and Mr. Dennis Fembers, both of them live here in Finch Street, talking there about they're going to vote, but they also a bit indecisive when it comes to who to vote, just because they haven't yet seen that change that they want to see. And this is a sentiment we've heard echoing across ROODEPAN and in different parts of Kimberley, where we've been. A little later we'll be finding out from the IEC, just in terms of numbers, how are things looking. We know that here in the Solplaatje municipality there are over 128,000 registered voters, which is the highest number of any municipality here in the Northern Cape.
Monique, thank you for that. Those paddles we see behind you, that is the lasting memory that I have of ROODEPAN from my brief reporting there about a year or so ago. Let's take it lastly to eNCA's Mangoba Mchunu, who is out in Mahikeng. Mangoba, take it away.
Well, thank you very much, Las. We are here in Mahikeng in the Northwest, which is the capital city of the Northwest. Of course, it is one of the areas where we've seen the political fighting between the ANC itself playing out here in this particular province. But, of course, it has come at a great cost, more for local residents who are saying that the issue of service delivery, it is non-existent in this particular part of Northwest. In fact, some of the issues that residents are raising are around water supply, the issue of electricity, as well as potholes, which residents say have been a problem for years. And we're just gauging people to us on what it is that they're going to do on the 1st of November, whether they're going to vote or whether they're not going to vote. And I'm telling you, we're getting a mixed views from people. Some of them saying to us that they want to go and vote to ensure that they put the right people on those candidates or those wards. But you get some of them who say we don't want to vote simply because we are losing hope in local government. But I want to gauge the people themselves just to get a sense from them. Baba, let me start with you. First of all, Baba, are you going to vote? Did you register to vote in this coming election?
No, local vote I guess vote be as ANC win. Nama thata go na la ke masepala ba re sotla re tsentse dipompo metsi hatso tlamile re ke metsi mo diloring tsa masepala re sokola ka metsi ko mo motseng ke boela mo.
Okay, Baba. So Baba, wena njoba ushuthi inkinga yamanzi, what other problems are you facing as a community yakho?
Community a re bereke ra sokola re batla mmereko a ro kry.
And have you tried to raise these issues with your local councillor? What is your local councillor saying?
Local councillor ro khona go batla mmereko mo toropong mo rene mo di hiking spot ro batla mmereko a ro kry.
Okay, so you are not voting this time around. Okay, thank you for your view. Well, Thulas is basically saying that he's not registered to vote and is not going to take part in this coming election because of the many issues, water being the main one. He says that they have to buy bottled water in order to try and drink water because the water supply here is not reliable. And of course, he says the issue of unemployment in the locations is also another big challenge. That's why he's opted not to vote. But let me speak to this gentleman. Sir, what about you? Are you going to vote in this coming election?
No, I don't think so because ke kopane challenge since 1994 sa le go busa puso e busa no yana eleng ANC a sa le ke dula mo Mafikeng mona ntse ha ba re sepe le mo toropong ya rona building ya rona ha sa le letsele tsa gare mangope le no yana go ke dulang teng extension 39 re na le 2 weeks metsi a seo re ka metsi ka dikupo re tlhapa ka metsi a ra reka so ke challenge mo go nna ke bone different a ke bone re ka go votelang. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's one of the views. Again, one of the gentlemen here saying that he's not going to vote. And again, this issue of water Thulas coming up. They're saying that they haven't had water in extension 39 for the past 2 weeks. And they've had to use buckets. They've had to use and buy water to try and get water supply. So that's one of the reasons he says he's not going to partake in this upcoming election. What about you, sir? Are you voting on the 1st of November?
Yes, I'm going to vote.
Okay. Yeah. And tell me why you chose to go and vote. Why are you voting? What do you want to see change?
Yeah, usually we have some problems when from the previous municipality. But now I've decided the president have just assured us that he's going to elect a good councillor who will deliver the service around the town.
And do you know your ward councillor, and are you confident in your ward councillor that they'll be able to bring the services that you want?
Yes, I'm confident on that councillor because he has been chosen by the people. It's not, he hasn't been chosen by any party and everything. People were there to elect the councillor. That is why I'm so confident from him.
What are some of the issues that you are not happy about in your community when it comes to service delivery?
No, water is a problem. Potholes is a problem. But there's nothing we can do. We cannot abscond and say that we are not going to vote for the sake of there are some potholes and everything. We have to go and vote so that we elect the councillor you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Thulas, you've heard for yourself those mixed views from people. Of course, the issue at the heart of it all is service delivery and whether or not service delivery will improve. But some are saying they're going to vote, while some are saying, well, I'm not going to vote this time around because I don't see why I'm voting. So it's a mixed reaction from the people here on the ground, but certainly some of them saying that they are hoping for better service delivery after the 1st of November.
All right, bringing you the moment of truth. That's our team of reporters there fanned out across the country. That was Mangoba Mchunu out in Mahikeng. You also heard from Govan Whittles in Gqeberha, as well as Monique Motlok in ROODEPAN in Kimberley, and Ngobile Madlala out in UMLAZI in KwaZulu-Natal. That issue about people saying that they will not vote is not a new issue. You hear it from time to time when people are disgruntled and dissatisfied with service delivery issues, that they will not vote.